Hey there, Eugene here. This video is about the adjacent possible. This is one of the concepts I got from the book, A Moment of Clarity. I can't remember the author of it. And pretty much the adjacent possible, this Medium article, you never know who the hell writes these. It's pretty much talking about the shadow future. Let's go to the images. I might have one that's better describes it. It's giving me a wiki. Let me go to Google. So pretty much what the adjacent possible is that there is a possibility to develop something in the future, but you are never sure. I did this before. What that is. Okay, this makes more sense. So this image right here, I like this one. So this is where you're at, all right? And this is the possibilities of where you can go. So you hear a lot of people talk about, there's no limits, or you should not constrain yourself, etc. That's actually a huge problem, because that's not true. That's not true at all. If you study, Machiavelli was a pretty guy who talked about this. You have to focus on where you are and what your arms are. So what he meant by his arm, like what you can do. What's your possibility? Is it political? It's like, are you popular with the people, popular with the nobles, popular with the soldiers, etc. So you have to understand where you are standing. And from where you are standing, there are possibilities you can move on from that position, right? This is Machiavelli. This is my interpretation of it. Machiavelli had several books. The Prince is the most popular one, because most people know about it and have these criticisms. Oh, it's a bad book. It's Machiavelli. They might say they've read it once in their life, but once you start talking to them, hey, well, what's your opinion about his main ideas or his quotes about this? You realize even if they read it, they don't remember about it. Which, ironically enough, he has his story about Castruccio Castracani of Lucca, like this, I don't know, 20 page little story where he actually, Castruccio mocked someone for having read books and not remember it. Anyways, if you read Machiavelli, there's the Prince, there's Castruccio Castracani of Lucca, there's Discourses in Livy, there's the Florentine Histories, which is actually really good, The Art of War, the Mandrake, which is a sort of story. So if you look at the different stories, I'm kind of making an overgeneralization. This is not just only from the Prince, but he actually talks about that. So the basic concept, I know where you are. And this is not necessarily what people do today. If you notice what people advise, like these business groups, or a lot of the business stuff has intermingled with this self-help stuff. So it's a lot of this fluffy bunny, feel good nonsense. You can do whatever you want if you stay positive and stick your mind to it. Which is not the case. And this is a new belief. If you study literature, and Western literature specifically, tragedy was invented by the Greeks. And what is tragedy? It's not necessarily that something bad happens. It's not necessarily that something sad happens. Tragedy specifically was bad stuff happening to good people who did the right thing. Right? But those things had what's the word? Unpredicted consequences to them that lead to bad results, but they didn't deserve it. They were good guys, tried to get the best thing, and based on the information they had at hand, that was probably the best thing they could have done. But even though it didn't work out. So the whole notion of business, first of all, it's just ridiculous. It's like this dumbed down, rah-rah speeches, and people don't even want to study the bad things that happen because, it's not positive. Well, actually, you should probably study the defeats and of other people in order to avoid it. Bismarck, Chancellor, the Iron Chancellor of Prussia, actually said he likes to learn from other people's mistakes instead of their own. Right? That's something to commit it with by meeting, talking to people like at the bar and reading history. Anyways, the adjacent possible. This is one of those things I believe this should be like a mandatory teaching, and most people don't even get it. So, for example, it's based on where you're located and what you can do. So, let's say, for example, this was business. There's only so much you can do. Like, one of the reasons tech companies will give up so much equity into in the companies for a large injection of cash is because they know with that injection of cash, they have a lot more possibilities and they can grow a lot faster. If they don't get that injection of cash, someone else that has more money sees what they're doing, they might just develop faster and crush them. Alright, so having more money increases the adjust impossible. But if you can't get the money and you're bootstrapping, there's only so much you can do. And you have to realize what you can do. And yeah, so that's basically it. Like, say, if you're born tall and you work out, maybe you can make it to an NBA. But if you're 5'6", there's not much you can do, but right. So, it's a very useful concept, I believe. And if you can read articles that gets more of it, but I would recommend reading the book. Where good ideas come from? Let me see who wrote that. It's Johnson something. Where Steve Johnson. Yeah, so I had an ex-girlfriend buy this for me. So yeah, this is where this originally comes from. I guess you can see a cool little animation there on it. But yeah, anyways, that's all.